Hi all, this is Priscilla from Baby Yum Yum. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live today. It's very hot out there, guys. Please do take care. It's really blazing hot. But today we are covering a very interesting topic. Um, it's very close to our hearts as Baby Yum Yummers, as you know, as Baby Yum Yum, as you know that we are supporting everyone. We are supporting parents, we are supporting dads, and this topic really touches home today as I will be speaking to Keletso Yende. I see she has joined our live discussion. Welcome, Keletso. Thank you so much for joining us. I will just let you in right now. I just want to show you the very interesting book that we will be talking about. When I saw this book online and just the title itself, it really hits home. And I think it will really hit home for most of our moms out there and for most of our families out there. The title reads, I never saw her eyes gaining from the pain of loss. Yes, I know. I know, I know, I know. This is the book that we are talking about as we are remembering our pregnancy loss and our infant loss, our miscarriages, our stillbirth. That is something, when you go through, you're thinking, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? And all those emotions come through. So I'm gonna just let Keleto join us, and as we discuss this, this is for you. We are gonna go through the grief together. We are gonna, go also through the loss. How do you move past it? I think that's a very big one. And then I think this book really actually looks at that because it is very a subject that we need to be covering, and also we need to be making awareness on and speak about this, and say it is happening, it is out there. You go back, you go to the hospital. When you go to the hospital, the doctor tells you that there is no heartbeat. Hi, Keleto, how are you?
Good afternoon. How are you, Priscilla?
I'm very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. We welcome you as Baby Yum Yum to this to our Instagram live. Tomorrow, being the 15th of October, is Pregnancy and Baby Loss Awareness Day, and we decided to do it today. I think it's a very, I don't want to put it, but we're grieving or some, but we want to say we're remembering. We're taking ourselves back and going through the process of it and realizing that it happened. I've lost my baby. You've lost your baby. And for me, I think let's take it. This is a very, again, well done on this book. Awesomely written. It's really good. I think every parent, both mom and dad, having lost or having gone through the grief, they need to get the book. It's a very interesting read.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Okay, girls, I think let's start our discussion from there. Ubuti, imagine you laying on the bed, you've come for your regular checkup, and the doctor checks you. And with me it was different. I've also lost last year. I think it's been 1 year now. And then also when he says, Priscilla, I'm not seeing nicely, can you please do a thorough check? You're thinking, oh, okay, fine, it's okay, we can do a thorough check, I don't have any problems with that. But you look at his face, you look at your partner's face when you're both standing there, and he says to both of you guys, I can't find a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For you, those words were very hard. 39 weeks of pregnancy.
Yeah, that's you're pregnant for a full 9 months. You're so expectant that baby is coming any day now, and
Your
everything
baby
is
room was already made up. Your baby room was set up. Everything was there. The bottles were bought, the nappies. I mean,
you've been showered, you've been to all the baby showers. In
oh
fact,
yeah, no, I didn't think about that part. Yes, that is a hard one.
yeah. Everybody is excited. The gifts have been bought. You still have everything. There is just so much buzz. There is just so much excitement. And for my husband and I, it was just until a day where I thought, no man, this is unlike our baby. She should have moved by now. I haven't felt any movement, and it was still
Yes.
in the morning, right? So we
Yes.
were on our way back from church, and we just like, no, let's just go and check it out. We're not
Yeah.
worried because I mean we've had the
In
perfect
9 weeks,
baby
what could
since.
go wrong? What could go wrong? I mean, you're ready to pop.
Exactly. Yeah, the worst thing that could happen is maybe they'll say you need to give birth right now, and
No, no.
and
True.
and I mean you don't have your baby bag. I mean that's what pregnant mothers worry about, right? Your bag
Yeah.
must be there. If the birth must go as planned. But unfortunately for us, the experience that you just described is exactly what happened. When the doctor eventually came to do a scan, he tells you these words that no parent ever want to hear. It's dreadful words. There is no heartbeat. And you're like, but Kanchani, how? How is this possible? I was here on Thursday and you said everything is fine. And it's
Oh, yes.
Sunday
I remember in
today.
the book you did say you went on Thursday for a checkup, a normal checkup. And on Sunday
Wait,
morning, you just decided to go because there was no movement. But you knew everything was good because you went on a Thursday.
correct. On Thursday, we were joking around. We were saying, because I was now going, I mean, I'm full term now, so I was going every week for checkups. So we were joking
Yes.
around. He was saying, either I'll see you at your appointment next week, or maybe I'll see you at the hospital because baby is going to come any minute now. Baby was in position, and like I said, full term. So it's like, but what? What do you mean? And
Yes.
that is just one of the most
Okay,
difficult
can I
things
ask
that
you, so were you planning to have a natural birth or a Caesar?
I was planning on having a natural birth.
Okay.
I suppose if I had planned on having a Caesar,
It would have been
you know,
done. Yeah, my apologies. Yes, yeah.
correct, and those are some of the things that you think about, when you're going through the grieving process and you're thinking maybe if I opted for a Caesar, they would have done it at 37 weeks or 38 weeks and we wouldn't be here. So you grapple
Definitely.
with all of those things. Did I make the right choice waiting? Should I have insisted on that Thursday that they induced me? But at the end of the day, all of those are irrational thoughts because nothing
Yeah.
was wrong. Why would you have insisted on being induced for no reason,
When everything was going right, as according to plan.
Exactly.
And can I
So,
read
so
from your, yeah, sorry, can I read as you go to that story? I think this is very interesting because I made marks on the book as I was reading.
I
It's
can see
you say on
you've got
there,
labels everywhere there. You're like so ready.
listen to this, Skeleton. I think this is, for me, this just takes me back to that doctor's room where, it's so unrealistic. It is like, what is happening? You saying here, eventually the doctor came, did a scan, and said the dreaded words, there is no heartbeat. I'm sorry.
It's like the end of your world in that moment. Um,
Definitely.
in fact, I think for me that reaction was delayed because I think the only time that I actually accepted that outcome was when I woke up the following day after I had had my Caesar, and my husband handed me the baby, and he said she did not make it, because even after the doctor said I can't hear a heartbeat, I still had hope that
Obviously.
when she
You're
is
still
born,
trusting that, he can still
it,
do a miracle. There can
it
still be a
exactly
resurrection. They can, you know,
it's gonna be a miracle and we're gonna celebrate and this nightmare will be over. But that reaction that I should have had when they said there's no heartbeat, it was
yeah.
actually delayed until I held her and I looked at her perfect face, and I looked at her. She had 10 fingers, 10 toes, two eyes, beautiful, big, nice and big baby, over 2
Oh,
kilograms.
yes.
It was surreal. It was unbelievable. And yeah, it's something that you hope and you wish that other people don't experience. But I think part of my writing the book was the realization that it actually happens more often than not.
Yes.
It's just that it's not spoken about enough, and we do not hear such stories. So when it happens to you, you feel like your world has ended, because nobody ever talks about what happens when baby dies. When you're
Not at
during your
all.
pregnancy, you're reading books, you listening to other mummies, they're telling you how to
It
birth
was a
the
normal thing,
baby.
really. As you say, you were going all about preparing the name. You already had a name, Ubu Ubu. You already, everything was just waiting for her to come into this world. It was just a matter of deliver the baby and come back with your bundle of joy home. That was it. But
uh,
it happened that there was no heartbeat.
and you,
And I
you
can imagine you after that Caesar. You also with me, again, I'm thinking, I think the hardest part was the cleaning part. That
mm,
is the worst part. Because you after that cleaning and everything, you go back home, you've got nothing in your hands. You've got nothing to show for it. But yet you've got this scar that said they took out your baby. And I
yeah,
just want us to go through also where you're saying your process of the process of after you gave birth to Boo Boo, but had to wash her. That was so amazing to read. Wash her body, prepare her body, because that was your process. That was you saying goodbye, you and your husband. That was a way of saying it's not as if you did not exist. You existed.
yeah,
And
yeah.
here we are saying goodbye to you.
Yeah, and I think that's the amazing thing about being a parent, that even in that situation, you would think you would be overcome by fear, perhaps. I mean, here
Yeah,
you are holding a dead body, literally. But in that moment, as a parent, you just have this overwhelming love that you are feeling. This is my baby. So your mind doesn't say, oh, you're holding a corpse or whatever. So yeah, before her burial, my husband and I went and I gave her a bath, the first and the last. When you're pregnant, you prepare for the first bath, and you are being told all of these things. Don't put the whole baby's body in the water because the cord is still whatever. But no, like there is nothing that will prepare you for first bath, also being the last bath, and
true.
there being no response from the baby, no reaction whatsoever. But it was a beautiful moment for us. Like you say, I think when you go through grief,
Yeah,
we need different things. We need to go through stuff. And for me, it was
definitely.
exactly that, to say, yes, I never got to see my baby's eyes like my book says, but I got an opportunity to be with her for a whole 39 weeks. I got an opportunity to feel her kick in my belly. I got an opportunity to hold her and to see her, and also to give her a bath, a final bath before we laid her to rest. So it was a very healing thing that helped us in the process as well.
Wow, that is so amazing. And I must say, it's very important also. Thank you to all the baby yam yamas followers for joining us. We are speaking to Keletso Yende, the writer of I Never Saw Her Eyes, Gaining from the Pain of Loss. This is a very, very interesting book, Keletso. And I must say again, congratulations on this. And also when you're going through that grief, letting family know. Oh, that's a difficult one to say mama or ubaba, or, ungasez uzombona or stuff like that. Because, I mean, they will say, or maybe they will be calling, say, oh, Konja, how far? When are you going? When is she coming? Or letting them know, that process is a very big one.
Yeah,
And
and
I don't know, from your side, how did you communicate this to your relatives and saying this happened?
I was blessed in that, shame my poor husband.
I know, I read about that part. Wow, yes.
Yeah, my poor husband, he was like, when I was in hospital, I was like, baby, when I get home, I don't want to be seeing cribs. I don't want to see baby stuff. Like, I'm not
I
even
read that he
thinking.
had to go sell all that stuff. He had to
I
go
know,
sell everything. He had
and
to
that
go
time,
sell.
I'm not even thinking what that means for him, and
Definitely.
the decisions that he needs to take in those moments. So even
You just want it born.
even with that, it was like, hi baby, so you will tell them. So yeah, I was blessed to have him as a partner in such a strong supportive structure. And
Beautiful, yeah.
yeah, so immediately after the baby had passed, he was the one that was breaking the dreadful news. But I do know that feeling, because not everyone who saw you pregnant will know that your baby passed. So the next
True.
time they see you, you still have a belly, you still
Yes.
look pregnant. You still look
Yeah.
pregnant for a while after you've had
Yes.
your baby, and people will innocently ask, oh, how's the little one doing? And you don't even have the words to say, she is no more. But somehow
Definitely.
you just, I don't know, you get some strength to break it to
Say it.
them. And
Yeah.
the most difficult part about it is you having to comfort them in that moment, because people will react differently. Some of them, you have to say no, but it's okay, because now they are feeling bad that they asked. They are feeling bad that they cried when you told them. So it just becomes this whole shebang of
I
emotions.
understand.
But by
True.
God's grace, He gives you that strength to be able to get through that.
And also there, when you say, I think when you say in your book that, when you are a mourner, you also become the supporter. And also when you are the supporter, you become the mourner in that instance. So that I really take that. And also, I just want to read again one paragraph from your book. Says, I encourage all of us to pause and think about how men experience pregnancy, baby loss, and fertility challenges. That is very powerful. As you were saying that you had the most support from your husband, because you thinking you are the one who was carrying the baby, you are the one who was feeling the kicks and so on, who was going through all of that, your belly going big and so on. But I must say that fathers play a very big role when it comes to this part. And also their loss, we must never take it for granted. Can you please just say that, because that is very beautiful on what you say. You say, my husband was excited from day one. He already planned all the activities he was going to do with Boo Boo, such as skating and surfing. All of a sudden, that dream just is gone.
Yeah. That is so true, because like you correctly also say, when you are pregnant, it's not just you, we are pregnant, right? And
Definitely, definitely.
have you also start planning, I'm going to be a father, this is what I'm going to do with my baby. So when that dream is shattered, it doesn't only affect you as the mother, but it affects the father as well. And we just
Definitely.
spoke about how I sort of relegated everything that was too difficult for me to do to him. So you can imagine now, he has to deal with telling people, he has to deal with getting rid of stuff, he has to be the strong one while we are arranging the funeral. He has to be the supporter when he's nursing me back to health. Even afterwards, he was the one that was there all along. And people will tend to focus their attention and their support on the woman, on the mother. But I really believe that probably one of the best ways to support the mother is to support the mother's supporter, to ensure that the supporter is okay. Because if the dad is okay and he feels strong and he feels supported, then he can also better be there for the mom. But unfortunately, that's not how our society views it. Everyone will be worried, unfortunately.
So you go on, just, go
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And
So
it's
so
not
that's
true,
why,
as you say.
yeah. So that's why I felt it is so necessary, even in the book, that my husband's voice is there, because
It
the
is
story
there.
of
We can definitely feel it throughout the book.
yeah, because the story of you know, our child is incomplete without him. And that's why I even included a chapter to talk about his experience and his healing journey and how he overcame and how he was able to support. So that's a very, very important part of it that we should really not neglect, because they also go through the most.
Definitely, I love that. Fathers need to mourn the passing of their child and should cry when they need to. We must normalize allowing fathers the space to grieve and allow their voices to be heard.
As you are reading this book, I'm thinking, this is a fantastic book. Wow. It's so different when somebody when somebody reads it back to you. Like, I wrote that.
Well, so the thing with this, the thing is with you, this is that your title, you know, when they tell you that the baby is no more or you can never, I mean, you immediately say, I wonder Uguti, how their eyes look like. You know, I wonder what would have happened. Did they have brown eyes or ganja? So you kind of, so when you read the title of a book, you're like, yes, I actually wanted to see the baby's eyes, you know, before anything else. I wanted to look the baby and see the eyes, because for you, that's life. Hence, imagine Mauti, you never saw the baby's eyes. It means there was no life. And then that is a process that we are bringing remembrance to that. And in this book, it really lightens up that and saying, yes, I never saw the baby's eyes, but this is a journey that you have to go through. Can we then talk about the healing process in terms of Mauti, in the book, when you say, you know, as women, you sit back and look at the stuff that you did before your pregnancy, before your lifetime. Oh, I done so wrong. Lord, I was guilty there. I sinned there. I didn't do 1, 2, 3. All that comes flashing down to say, you know, you should done that, all of that. But can you please, as parents, can you just take us through that moment that we must actually take, it is difficult. We can say this now, but when it's actually happening, it's a different story. Sit down and like take a breath and say, you know, I actually had no control. You had no control over this situation.
Yeah.
There was nothing that you can do. So you need to come back to yourself and like take yourself back, you know, and take control of the situation. But how do you do that as a mom? How do you do that as a father who has just lost your baby, who's just had a miscarriage, and who's just given birth to a stillborn child?
Yeah. I think the first thing is not to be afraid of those thoughts, not to be afraid of those emotions. Because, you know, it would be easy for me to say to you, when those thoughts come, just disregard them. They're irrational.
It's not
They
as
are
easy.
whatever. But unfortunately, I cannot say that. What I can say is go through them, but don't stay there. You know, for us, the thing that was able to take us from that guilt, worry, maybe it's because I was not a virgin when I got married. You
I
know,
remember,
as,
yeah, I
you know, as,
remember.
as believers, we like, now you're thinking, oh, God is punishing me for my past sins and all
Yes.
and all of those things. So you eventually you see, you know what, I'm digging myself in a hole that if I keep digging, I might not be able to get out of this hole. So let me look for something else. Let me look for another alternative of looking at this thing. And for me, also bringing my faith into it, it was to say, no, but I cannot believe that the God I serve is such a vicious God that he will just give me something only to take it away because he wants to teach me a lesson. I had to look at it from a different perspective to say we live in a fallen world. I have an enemy, it's the devil. So at least if I deflect my blame from me, I get to deal with the guilt. It's not me, it's not God. At least I can lean on him and draw strength from him. It must be the devil, and it is. He's the one that brings death. But for me, it was just coming to that point of realization that this asking questions, God, why, and being angry, I was not getting answers. So I had to decide, how am I going to honor the life of my
Awesome.
daughter. Because at the end of the day, I could choose to be a bitter person and just be angry about it for the rest of my life, or
Yes,
I could choose, you know, like you saying, tomorrow it's a day of remembrance. I had to
yes,
decide. So when days like this come, how am I going to commemorate such days? Is it going to be me being
definitely.
angry all over again and mourning all over again? And for me, it was a decision to say, I refuse to believe that my daughter's life was in vain. And if she didn't live as long as I expected, but I'd like to believe that her life had a purpose. And if the purpose was so that I go through this, so that I am able to tell others how to overcome it, then that's how I'm going to celebrate her life. And that's why I accepted healing, because God's healing is there. It's just for us to accept it.
It's there. It's
Accepted
there.
healing and decided to share the journey with others so that those who go through similar can read my story and see that there is hope.
Oh, beautiful, 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 Kelly. And also, as you saying, for you who has lost a loved one or loved ones, I have this question: how will you honor their memory? I think it's that sitting back and thinking, yes, I have lost kids, or yes, I have lost even a loved one, but how will I go on and honor their memory and not actually sitting back and doing a pity party always, because there must have been a reason. Everything happens for the reason. So I think what we're taking from this also as all baby, is like, you must embrace that. Yes, it happened. It is so. No one wants to lose their child, not especially at 39 weeks or 36 weeks or 12 weeks. When you actually hear the words you're pregnant, that's celebration enough for you. And you thinking this is going to go throughout. In fact, you are thinking, how am I going to pay for university fees? When you hear that you're pregnant and all of a sudden
Yeah.
that happened. But as we remember the loss of our kids, as we remember what we have lost, and as we grieve through that, I think what we're taking back is that we must celebrate their memory. It was not in vain. It will never be in vain. It was all for a purpose. Yes, our questions may never be answered, but we remember them. And the love, and it doesn't not mean that because that happened, as you said, it's because there's a punishment in, but sometimes it's a journey that we must just learn through. As you said, you learned so much from losing your baby, and also losing, how many miscarriages did you have? When I read about this story, it's so it is so amazing that you're still standing. And thanks to God you are, because the strength that you are now bringing on, even onto this platform as we speak to you, it is amazing. To all women out there, there is life after your miscarriage. There is life after you have lost your baby. There is life after any other grief. It is just deciding to stand and embrace that. Yes, it is difficult to do that whilst that is going on every day, but embracing that and looking into your heart and saying, I must take this and go on. Really, I
Yeah.
must take this and just forge forward as we go on. In closing, Keletso, I just want to hear from you, your last words from your side.
Don't lose hope.
Awesome.
No matter what happens, don't lose hope. Take this from someone who had a stillborn baby. And when I went through my healing process, I was still like, but no, man, I want to have children. So then you go and you get pregnant again, and your body betrays you again. Now in the first trimester, you go back and your body betrays you another time. And as I'm sitting here, I'm still saying the same thing. I don't lose hope. I will still have children, I still believe. And another important thing is, don't put your life on hold until you have those children, because there is so much more to you than than just being a biological mother. Even the term motherhood, we have to redefine it. What does motherhood mean? Because as I'm sitting here, I might not have yet given birth to a child that cries,
but
and
you have kids, yes.
I can see. But I am so much of a mother It is not even,
Definitely.
it is not even funny. So let's
I mean,
redefine
the
motherhood.
ministry you are in now, the ministry you are in lets you be a mother of the nation, eh?
So live life, enjoy life, even while you are still waiting for your miracle. Don't let that one area of your life just overcloud everything else. Your life is still worth living. You still have so much value that you can add to other people. It's just that your testimony is in waiting. And while you wait, wait with the right attitude and live your life to the fullest.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for coming on to this platform for Baby Yum Yum. We so appreciate you. I think this day we are taking so much, and especially from the pain that we have been through, as we remember that pain, as we remember that loss. As you said, don't lose hope. To all the mothers out there, to all the parents out there, to all the fathers out there, do not lose hope. There is still hope. There is still hope. Thank you so much, Keleto, for joining us, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much to all the Baby Yum Yum
Thank
followers, the ones
you.
who are live now, and even the ones who will join
You're watching this after,
and look
yes.
at the feed later. Thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation. It's been a lovely chat. Appreciate you so much.
Sibonge kakhulu sis.